Hey everybody, this is Parnell, and Steve's
And
not
this
here.
is Chris Dog? Isn't that what you do every time?
We got this is Flippin' and Mashin', and Steve has left us tonight, but I have a replacement. I have Chris, who's been on the show a handful of times now.
Yeah, my wife thinks it's weird.
That you're famous?
I'm not famous. She thinks it's weird that I'm on your podcast more than once.
Yeah, she's jealous that you're famous. You should tell her that. So I tell my wife. She likes to laugh at me. Don't be jelly that you're famous.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I had an idea to ask you some questions later about video game stuff, but we'll talk pinball for a while because we've been talking pinball all day. And you have some exciting news about your visits today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Oakland, and I had a chance to go over to the, I'm going to blow the name of the place. This is the Pacific Pinball Museum, which is over in Alameda. I just want to make sure I'm getting the name of the place right.
So, like, do you know how many machines they have?
So they had, they claim they have 90 working machines. I think there were maybe 3 or 4 that weren't working, but they're all in like good condition. They all function correctly. There's playfield wear on some of them based on age, but I spent a fair amount of time playing the 60s to 70 era machines. Because at this point, so many of my friends have the 90s, classic Bally Williams stuff and a bunch of new Sterns and things like that. So when I go to places like the Pinball Hall of Fame or like this place, I try to play stuff I don't see every day. And it's really, and this place honestly is, I wish the Pinball Hall of Fame was like this place, and no offense to Tim and how he does his thing, but every machine had a card that was on top of it and was foam backed and reasonably large, that then gave the game, the year it was produced, designer, and then some information about the machine. And so it definitely was more museum-like.
Well, I mean, museum is in the name.
Yeah, but I mean, it's you pay, well, on their website you pay $20 and you get in and play whatever you want to play. You know what I mean? It's not
so you pay,
free.
And then everything's free.
You pay to get in, and then you play as much as you want.
Do you like that more than the coin drop at like the Pinball Hall of Fame?
I don't know. There's two different theories of thought, I think, on that, because the coin drop, I will say, because I'm a casual player, the coin drop makes me more interested in playing better.
Mm-hmm.
But because I know that I'm going to start playing a game, and you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to plop quarters into the machine. I'm a little less interested in what the machine's doing sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I played a machine, I was like, oh, this one's kind of lame. Let's just plunge the ball and get it over with. You know what I mean? Because I didn't put money into it. Now, granted, at the beginning, I put money into it, but, we were there 4 hours. I went with a buddy from tour. We were there 4 hours, and I played everything once.
Well, that's the thing, is that if you had to do coin drop, there would be probably a lot of games that you wouldn't have played.
And that's very true.
Yeah, because why put money in if I have no interest?
Right. Like, I played Indiana Jones.
Oh, which one?
Which is a great machine.
Which one?
I played a whole bunch, but I was like, well, let's see how this one plays.
Answer my question, Chris.
What?
The Indiana. Was it Stearns or Williams?
Oh, God, no, I hate the Stern one. I will not play that machine.
What do you mean? It's about the old Indiana, but there's the Crystal Skull for some reason?
So awful. It just plays like garbage. I've never been impressed with the way that one plays.
I think I played it once.
That's my personal opinion.
It can't be that bad. I mean, right? It's pinball. It's got to be sort of fun.
Yeah, well, that's true, I guess. But what was really cool about the place is, first off, anybody has a chance to go look at pictures of the place. They've done the walls painted with, artwork from pinball machines on it. They have these large actual canvas painted murals that they've hung that are, like replicas of back glasses and stuff that they had artist paint. Like, And then all the machines are laid out in chronological order. Oh. So you literally can walk through the entire place, starting at their one machine that was down, and it was from 1949, and then the first available machine that was actually working that you could play was from 1950, and so you just work your way through every basically year. And I didn't look to see if they had a machine for every year. I'm not sure if they did, but just kind of weave your way through, playing all the machines, working your way up to what they were saying is their last machine was AC/DC, produced in 2012.
Oh, they haven't. Oh, I guess if they have to buy them, I mean that's a lot of money. So it's like, why drop $6,000 on a game when you have maintenance and other things to pay for?
Yeah, and what they had is then in front of that, they outside of what is considered the museum, they had a little space that had 5 or 6 machines that was Ghostbusters, Metallica, Star Trek, the new Star Trek, Hobbit, and Dialed In, and those were coin drop. So
who owns those? Oh, you mean they might own those, but they're not museum.
Yeah, exactly. They're not in the museum.
So
they're so people can come in and not pay that much if they want to play a machine or two.
That's a decent way to do it. Let your new games earn money, and maybe when they pay themselves off for a little bit of profit, you throw them in the museum side.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, and it was great. I mean, Centaur, Black Knight 2000. You know, they had a great collection of just different machines. And yeah, I couldn't get over the art and all the information that was in this place in terms of, you know, talking about each individual machine and all that kind of stuff. Like, it really is worth the money. And we did a Groupon because there was a Groupon available, so it was $15 to get in. And then we get there and there's a sign out front that says Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 for $20. So, you know, if you like playing pinball.
Oh, so you and your friend, you didn't even need the Groupon.
We didn't need the Groupon, but I, you know, not being local, I didn't know. You know, it was just a sign that was out front. It's not, and that wasn't advertised on their website anywhere. But yeah, I mean, 2 for $20. I mean, how do you go wrong? $10 to get in, and you could, you know, they open I think at 10 o'clock in the morning and they close at 9 o'clock at night. Like,
so was it busy?
It was not very busy. I overheard the lady at the counter say that Thursdays are obviously the reason they do it is Tuesdays and Thursdays are obviously their quiet nights. I think we were there probably 3-4 hours, and there were maybe 20 people that came and went. So yeah, really super quiet. Obviously, the newer '90s stuff and Stern stuff. Most of the people spend their time over there, and I spent most of my time in the '60s stuff, and it was great. It was cool. So let me ask you this as a complete aside, because I was thinking about this today, and so I can't. I don't know if there's something out there. I think I want to start either an Excel sheet, and this is where it gets super nerdy, and track all the unique machines I've played. You know what I mean? Like,
you want almost like an Excel or a database of some sort that would just...
Exactly. A database that shows all the machines that are out there. And then I can check mark when I've played a machine. I don't care about the date I've played the machine. I'm just check marking that I've had an opportunity to play, you know, whatever, you know, CSI. You know? Yes,
did you play
check.
CSI?
I didn't today. It was there. I've played it before.
You said you played every game.
Oh, you're right. I did not play CSI. I did not play...
Oh, damn. That's a fun game.
You say it's fun.
I miss mine.
You say that all the time that you miss yours.
It's because it's on my wife's finger. I had to sell that for that ring.
Well, that's your mistake.
I don't regret it yet.
Later, you're going to ask if you can cash in the ring to get another pinball machine.
Oh,
get back your pinball machine.
Rings aren't worth anything these days once they're used.
That's probably true.
You know, that's possible, right? Like, you could do an access to make it easy and look good for you. Like, you could do an access database, and you could do 2 lists, right? You have a list of everything, which you'd have to filter some out, right? Because there's like, do you want to have the flipperless on there? I mean, do you want literally every game?
Yeah, I think you would start. I think you would start at the 50s or 60s.
Yep.
Let's say the 60s.
And you're gonna have a couple thousand, I'm assuming.
Right.
Maybe
and
more.
then
And then
if you find those other ones that are pre that, then you just add them in as you get them.
that'd be kind of not. It's not like a bingo check sheet, but it's just a check sheet.
Yeah.
And you could like print screen games I've played, or you could even do a number of like total games versus what Chris has played.
Yeah, I mean, I would just be looking to. It would be interesting to see how many unique machines I've played over the course of being in pinball. You know what I mean?
God, I haven't played crap. I mean, versus what some. I've been in the hobby since like what, 15? No, 2012 or something. But I haven't traveled a lot and gone and played a bunch of different games like you have. Like, right, you get around for work, so you. Get
Yeah, and honestly, if you went to the Pinball Hall of Fame in January when you go there for work and never somehow seem to make it, which is mind-boggling to me, you could knock off 40 games from the 60s that you never see, or 60s and 70s that are electromagnet because they've got 2 rows of them. You know what I mean? Like,
do you want to?
You don't even have to work that hard to.
I don't have to play it good. I just have to like press the button and move on.
Well, I mean, again, like today, I played all the machines that were in the place, and some weren't great, so I was reasonably less interested. I'd finish out the game and move on. But there were a few of the EMs that I really like, so I usually played a couple games on them, and then really kind of like really played it and was interested in playing it. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like, oh, here's another game. I was like, oh, right, look at this. I like how this is laid out, or I like these shots, that kind of thing. Again, I'm surprised that Pinside doesn't have a way to do it. Maybe I'll suggest it. You know what I mean? Because like you've got your collection, you've got your wish list, and you've got your past collection. Couldn't you just make another filter group that just says machines I've played or machines this person's played?
They could. I mean, people obviously abuse everything, right? Like you could make up. So as long as it didn't turn into some sort of competition, but
yeah, I don't give a shit what everyone else has played.
No, I know. So I'm just saying that this is a potential issue that may get brought up, but at the same time, you could make up what games you own, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. But Pinside and the Internet Pinball Database might be the only 2 places that have a database that has every single game.
And that's why it would be interesting if Pinside had a way to do it, because then you can use the search function like you do when you're putting in a game that you have in your wish list.
Yeah, exactly.
And drop it into a column. Because at that point, then it's searchable when I'm out there. You know what I mean? Like when I go, oh, well, I'm here. I don't think I've ever played this before. And then go through and go, oh, I haven't played it because it's not in my list. You know what I mean?
That might be a good one for them, because then it could go in with the ratings too, where you could check off what game, and if you're checking it off, you could rate it right there.
Right. And again, I understand what you're saying about people abusing it in some way, shape, or form to say they played every game under the sun. I'm not looking for that. I don't really care who that person is. You know what I mean? And I don't care, because you're right. There's no way to prove it, so what does it matter? It's more a personal thing, just to kind of be like, oh, right, I remember that machine, or oh, yeah, that one was great.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's for the user to just kind of...
It's for the user, exactly. It's just for the user.
Keep info. Speaking of January, so I was told the other day, you can't see me on the camera, can you?
I cannot.
God damn it. I'm making quotes, air quotes.
Yeah.
I was told we're going to do shifts at the booth for CES. So I'm going to CES.
Oh, that's great.
I've been going for, 6 years?
About that, I think.
I've gone for more than that, because we went without a booth, but I've never been to the Pinball Hall of Fame.
It's insane to me. It's insane to me only because, and I don't know if they're open now. See, now you might be in trouble, because I think they were closing the first of the year, right, to move.
But they
Are you
didn't
looking
have.
it up right now?
Yeah, I thought they bought land. They didn't buy.
No, they were buying
Was it a
land
building?
and or they were waiting for a building to be built. But no, they bought land, but they needed to sell this place to help pay for that. So at some point they were going to close the Pinball Hall of Fame. This is what I remember from reading on Pinside. They were going to close it to then put the money into where they were headed next.
Maybe I'll have to ask them. They're on
And
Facebook.
I think there was discussion that maybe there'd be like a smaller satellite location, like used to exist at like the Riviera, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to ask them. I've just never been there. The problem that happens is I'm one of the only, I feel, responsible people when we go on, I was going to say on tour, when we go out for these booths. So I'm always manning the booth. All the time. And then you work from, I don't know, 7 to 7. Then you eat dinner and you go to bed, and then it's time to leave, like to the airport. So supposedly, if we do shift work this year, I work half a day. And then I have...
Well, why you don't
time.
take a day off and go, I'm not working this day. Between the other 6 people or whoever's there, you guys got this.
Because I'm the only adult.
Who cares? You're really worried about that one day of sales going away when you can experience...
It's not sales, it's the
400
booth thing. So it's just, you're just talking to a bunch of people.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I honestly, it really does blow my mind that for as into pinball as you are, because you are into pinball, that you have never made it to the Pinball Hall of Fame.
I think I'm just too much of a bitch to take a taxi.
Yeah, you're insane. I walked it once, and that was the biggest mistake of my life. Now, that was in August, I think, or maybe it was July. Oh my God, it was...
Now, I finally have Uber on my phone, and I've taken it a few times, and it's not like...
you're not afraid of it anymore?
Yeah, I was going to say, I can do Uber now. The other hard part, too, is I never have that much cash on me. I mean, I think some of the new taxis take credit cards, but I never remember that crap.
That's why you take an Uber.
Well, now I can take an Uber. 6 years ago, I don't know if Uber existed. Maybe they did in California, but...
Again, though, you can't blame it on 6 years ago. You've been going for 6 years now.
I've been going longer than that.
Right. So, I don't get it.
Shh,
Anyways.
Chris. So this year...
I would laugh so hard, Parnell,
if they
this
fucking
is the year
closed.
that they're closed. because they're moving.
I'll go there and just be at a picture of me at their door with it locked and just sad.
Just a picture under the old sign.
It's gonna happen.
Oh man, that's great.
I'm gonna try this year. I think for sure.
You really should. Don't waste your time playing stuff you have. Don't waste your time playing stuff your friends have.
Here's the other thing. I'm kind of nerdy, so I'm a little introverted, and so I don't like doing things by myself. That's another big problem.
Really? But introverts usually like doing things by themselves because they don't like being with others.
No, but I'm a nerd, so I just want to sit in my basement on my computer.
All right, I see.
Yeah.
Or in your office podcasting.
All by myself.
I have no room to talk. I'm in a hotel room podcasting right now.
So, just recently, I think after the kid was born, I got a little more spine on doing things on my own.
You're drinking a lot more now?
Oh, yeah. I gotta actually crack. You kept blabbing on, so I just cracked open a Budweiser. It's the only thing we had in the fridge at work. I don't go to the bar by myself, or I don't go to the movie theater by myself, but I'm better at doing things on my own because I'm an adult now.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing about the pinball, though, right? Especially when you start talking about a place like the Pinball Hall of Fame. There's so many machines that you're not going to hang with somebody when you're there.
No,
because
they're
going to want to go do something on their own.
But I've gone to places on my own. For instance, SS Billiards. I've gone there on my own for his little events. But I knew people going, so I wasn't showing up by myself. I guess I drove there.
But you were going to a function.
Yeah,
this is no different than going to the frickin' Kohl's to buy jeans.
Yeah, it's just a different way to think about it.
You're going to wander around. You're going to find stuff you want to play.
What about MGC? I'm not going to go by myself there. Because you're not going this year, you fucker.
I know, sorry.
I have to bleep that out, jerk. Year 2 in a row. Screw you, Parnell and Steve. Don't come down.
You guys are more than welcome to come down. It's not like you can't venture out on your own, you weirdo.
No, see, I can't take Steve because, God forbid, even on a weeknight, we can go do something. He has calls. And he gets called away even tonight. He was cleaning up his dragon. And he only...
Do you think he would be... But if you're at MGC,
mm-hmm.
I would assume he's less likely to be called away to go have to do something. I'm assuming he meant by called away is that he had to leave to go do something.
Yeah, no, he would still get calls.
So what? First off, you can't hear anything in frickin' MGC.
No.
It's just so loud because of all the machines, so who would know their phone's ringing?
He's got those 2 kids and stuff, so he's tied.
Yeah.
But see,
I get it.
Nikki was, my wife is going to come with, not to MGC, but, we're going to your house in January.
Yeah.
Dude, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know if Steve can go. I'm assuming that's going to be a no.
Whatever. I mean, I hope he can come. I'd love if he came. I think he would have a lot of fun.
Oh, I would agree.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the crap we could talk about. We could show Steve System 11.
Yeah, exactly.
The good thing about the trip to your house in January is going to be, it's a family trip. I mean, we're not taking the dog.
Right.
Because you hate my dog.
Don't hate your dog. My dog hates dogs.
I brought Gus to work today. What a douche. He just kept licking my arm, nosing my elbow. It's like, dude, just he cannot be bored.
You don't have a dog that is a chill dog yet, though. Give him another 4 or 5 years and he'll chill out.
Sounds great. 4 or 5 years. It's going to snap.
Buddy,
like
it's
6
called
kids
a
by
puppy.
then.
At some point, they'll get bigger. Have you not learned this with Brecken?
He's 3. I swear to God, he grew out of being a puppy by now.
Yeah, another 2 years.
Oh, he's a lab.
He'll mellow.
My daughter is now just over 1, and she's running around, grabbing everything, getting into everything, and then when you take away the naughty things like knives and guns, she starts screaming.
First off, why do you have guns?
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm making up stuff. But it's like, no, Brecken, don't eat paint.
You know why? Because she's still kind of a baby child. So that's what.
God. She needs to calm the heck down.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Well, the cool part is...
Ask anybody, maybe, hopefully in 22 years, they'll calm down.
Oh, God. No, at 22, they're nuts. Because I was 22 at one point, and it was bad. I don't want my kid to be like that.
It's amazing.
The best part is, like, now she will put shapes into the, like, what is that? It's like a block with holes in it, and there's shaped chunks that fit, like a square and a triangle, star and stuff.
Yeah.
And now she's actually, like, doing them, like, putting them in correctly. I swear it happened overnight, or within a week. It's kind of fun to see. Maybe she'll learn pinball because of that. I don't know.
Will you be very disappointed if she doesn't?
Yes, only because, like, to give my wife a break, or to at least go do something with my daughter, pinball events were going to be my jam, right? Like, maybe go into an arcade, or take her to a pinball event, or down to the game room, or work, or whatever, and we could just spend time either fixing, cleaning, whatever, games and stuff. And if she's not into it, I mean, I'll do whatever she's into, but then I can't get anything done. It'd be like today. I still can't get anything done.
Well, I think you overwhelm yourself when you start working on stuff. Like, I mean, I don't know how long you have been working on your pinball machines this evening.
12 hours.
For real?
No.
Because that's concerning. You might want to give up this hobby because you're apparently not good at it.
It's like me in math in college. You should drop out because you suck.
But you were definitely flustered when we talked earlier because you didn't feel like you gotten as far as you wanted, and there was so much more to do. And I understand at this point, because you've been working on this machine for quite a while, you'd like it to be done. But again, at some point, it's a hobby, so you can't wind yourself up about that kind of stuff because it's just going to make you nuts.
No, the hard part is when for instance, when I took a game or games to MGC,
yeah,
they were in my basement at the time. So, for instance, Lost World Jurassic Park, I took 2 evenings. This is before a kid. From dinner until, I don't know, midnight or 2 a.m., I just worked on the game.
Yeah.
And then went upstairs and went to bed. Then the next night, did the same thing, and the game was fully shopped out, waxed, LED'd, and everything. New rubbers.
Yeah.
And since all my stuff is at work, I have tools spread between home and work. So I have to remember. So that's one hard part, is that I have some specific tools at home, which I don't remember to bring until I'm here and then I need it. Like tonight I was doing repinning for that connector on that solenoid saver board. And I have this crimper that is clicking, where you it's like ratcheting crimper, but I wasn't doing it tight enough where the wire would stay in, so I had to then, my single hand crimper, I must have left it at home to do those pins. And so I'm like using a frickin' wire stripper, electrician's wire stripper to close them up. It's just like, that's frustrating. And then all my games are here, and I'm at work for 6 to 10 hours a day.
That's true, yeah.
But that I never work on them, but they're sitting there staring at me. And then if I do work on them, I feel bad that I'm not working. So it's a pain in the ass.
But would you feel better about doing it at home then?
Yeah, because then I'm at home, and if my wife needs help with something, she can just call down to me.
I guess that's true.
And it's also a 25-minute drive to work, so depends how hard I want to get these games. Like Black Knight, I was talking to you about Black Knight tonight, and so I came probably about 6:37. So I worked on the game for about 2 hours. Got the saver board in, the solenoid saver board, and made the harness, and then started taking apart the top of the upper playfield, and then realized I didn't order the posts, so I'll probably just clean them, and then I was just taking pictures and tearing them down.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing I do when I tear down. I tear down and make a list of everything I need to order, if there are things I need to order, right? I get my list together first because I've torn it down.
Oh, so you use tear down first?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I didn't tear down anything.
Yeah, I basically, when I start, I take the machine, and I don't take a lot of pictures. It's my own fault a lot of times. So if I'm doing a machine, I take the top side, I tear the top side off, and then I leave usually posts in, and then clean areas as I'm going. So, or sometimes I'll pull everything off. So let's say I just pull everything off. I get an 8-foot table, and I lay out the machine, the top side of the machine, basically on an 8-foot table in order. So all the parts that are the, left sling, plastic, post, bolt, everything that goes to that sits in where the sling would be on the table. And then just tear the whole thing down that way, make a list of all the parts I need as I tear everything down, and then order those parts. And then while those parts are coming, which usually takes a couple days, then I am working on the underside of the playfield, which for me, mostly what I'm doing for my machines, 'cause I'm the first to admit, I'm not doing the 80-hour shop job. I don't see a need for it. I'm never going to eat off my machines. My machines aren't collector machines. They're made to be played. So
what's your shop versus an 80-hour?
Well, I think that's when people take harnesses off and wash them.
Oh God, yeah, hell no.
And I don't do that. So then what I do on the back underside is then I take a mech apart. So drop targets. I take one drop target mech completely off, pull it apart, completely clean the entire thing.
And what do you clean it with?
What's that?
What do you clean it with? Because I have to do all 4 drop target banks at Black Knight.
I mean, I probably use things that most people don't use. I mean, most of the drop target stuff, because it's just goo that gets on the drop targets or gets on the the metal posts and all that kind of stuff, I just use 409, man, or I use simple green, and just clean all that stuff up. Stuff that I know that I'm not worried about a little bit of an abrasive thing to get it clean, and I don't tumble parts, so I don't like take all the metal parts and tumble them for 3 days or whatever people do.
Oh yeah.
I hand clean that part, and or I have a large stock of parts. So if I'm tearing down a machine and putting it back together, unless it's a unique part, I have what I need to put the machine back together, so I don't really ever have to wait for parts. You know what I mean? Like,
so you're your own pinball life.
I've got 30 star posts of every color that's made. So that any point I can put a machine together and not have to stop because I'm waiting for parts to come in.
So funny, because you told me to do that, I think even on the last time we talked to you. Yep. Black Knight's posts are like honeybee hive looking. They're very weird. Oh, you have old Williams games. This is my first one.
Yeah.
Checkpoint might have been my oldest before Play Ball. That was like in 91.
But that still would have been star posts.
That was Data East though.
Were they just doing straight posts?
Oh, I have no idea. I never had to shop it.
Right. Gotcha.
I had bought the new old stock playfield and then sold everything before I did anything with the game.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, my thing is, and again, I understand everyone has a budget and that kind of thing, but we're talking about star posts. And if you look at a machine and go, you know what, I want all my star posts to be clear on this machine. So some people get out the manual and figure out exactly how many are in the machine. And I go, if you buy 30, there aren't going to be over 30 in that machine. They cost when you're buying 30 to 50 of them, they cost like 60 cents a piece. You know what I mean? Like, it might be even less than that. So just spend the money. Because then you got them, and then you don't get 80% through the project and go, shit, I'm short 2 star posts. I guess I got to wait another 4 days for them to arrive.
I guess, well, the only thing, you can do that pretty easily because you have a ton of the same kind of game. Like, you have a 20 System 11s and a bunch of new Sterns. And so having the same part is easy because you have a bunch of the same style of game.
Yeah, I guess that's true, and I guess that's the thing, right? That's a very good point.
I have this stupid mix, and now you had joked about it on the phone where it's like, oh, Pernell's going to have a ton of different crazy crap.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you said you were talking about routing stuff, yeah, you're going to have a lot of stuff if you don't want machines to have tons of downtime. Maybe that's why if you get to what you're going to route, maybe you only route certain things, knowing that.
Oh, yep.
Then you can take the kit, you can keep the parts that you need. Hey, we're only going to rent modern day Stern or route modern day Sterns, and we're only going to route 90s Bally Williams. There you go. You know what I mean? And or take it to System 11s. Most of those parts are, you get a few of those games in your collection. Most of those parts are then all the same.
So I can't find those Black Knight posts.
They're the black ones, right? Is that the ones you're talking about?
Well, I don't know. They're red.
Oh, they're red.
So Pinball Life didn't have them. Pinball Resource seems to have one of them. But there's 2 kinds. There's like the shorter ones, where maybe just the plastic sits on. Then there's the taller one that a screw would go through kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? They have, it looks like the taller version. So that's another hard part too, is like, so what would you replace it with? People must just swap in a normal star post then instead.
Yeah.
But I don't... You're sacrificing Black Knight with non-OEM.
And I don't believe in any of that stuff, too. Some people would think it's insane that I take... Well, Bad Cats is an example of that. It probably came... I'd have to look at pictures. It probably came with red star posts from the factory. I did all orange star posts in my Bad Cats. And guess what? It looks fucking badass.
Well, yeah. I would agree. That's a very orange game.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit. When I'm done with the game, I'm selling it. You either want to buy it for the price I have it for, and if you think it needs, as I put in all my ads, this is not a collector quality game. If you need a collector quality game, my games ain't it, because they're not going to have that, oh, they were supposed to be red flippers and now they're blue flippers and blah, blah, blah. The fuck out of here. Go find somebody else's machine. I don't have time for that.
Well, I mean, as long as they paid it and didn't negotiate the price down, trying to get some crazy deal because you.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be a topic of
Star
conversation.
Post.
I would be, here's the machine, that's just how I do it. Here's the machine, here's the price. I have a little bit of wiggle room, or I don't. If you think you're going to come in and try to run me down $300-400 on this machine, don't waste either of our times. Don't make the trip. That is, anybody who contacts me about a machine I'm selling, that's what I go back at. Because I get it, everybody wants a deal, but everyone's got a little bit of wiggle room. But if you think you're going to come in and steal the machine because you're going to come in and nitpick it, please don't waste my time, because this isn't the machine for you. And again, like anything, I want the machine to be the way I want it for me. So when I'm done with it, I will sell it for what I think I can get for it based on the reason I had it for me.
Why did you have it?
Well, I mean, if I do mods to machines and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I believe certain mods are worth money and some aren't. So I don't charge for the mods that I don't think
everybody
add
does
value to the game,
Oh, we talked about this.
Mirror blades don't add value to a game. Shaker motor does.
Shaker motor, color DMD.
To a game.
It's like those are the only two big ones.
Yeah, I agree. Toppers don't add a value to the game.
Well, that's the thing. Keep it. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Take it off. Do I get that money off the machine? No? Yeah, right. Because you'll no longer have the machine and don't have a reason for the topper. You bought the topper because you wanted the topper. So you can't add that value into the game.
I will. And I'll sell it back to you, Chris.
Good luck.
Didn't you see that topper I put on Jokers and I sold it back to you and made $300?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Oh, I think Marco has those two different posts.
Well, there you go.
Red ribbed, tall, and oh yeah, it's 1 inch, and 1 inch and 1/8. Interesting.
Well, now you can get the correct posts and put them in your machine.
And that's one of those things where I love hoarding parts. I love it. Because, especially if you're routing, right? You want the breakable stuff in case something goes wrong. You have it in your tool bag. You can just whip it out. But the rare parts are kind of nice to hoard. Like these rib posts are kind of... I looked at a few places, and randomly Marco's the only place that has them. They must have main contact with the supplier.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I think that when you get to the point of routing stuff, or like you said, you get to where you have a larger collection and many of the things are universal because you have multiple machines from the same era, then you should start getting parts, because eventually something's going to break on one of those machines, so now you have the part to replace it with,
I've been thinking a lot, and
how's that been going?
My brain hurts. And with the prices of these new games, it's like the last episode you made some comments on, but that Tokyo Perfect Drift.
Oh.
One level game, it's over $5,000.
Yeah.
So, no wonder why these 80s games are now blowing up in popularity.
Yeah, I mean, obviously at some point the price goes up because what's out there is too expensive. Most people can't afford it, but they want to be in the hobby. So you've got to find a way to be in the hobby, so the cheaper games become more desirable and more expensive. Supply and demand.
So, I don't know. I'm kind of getting into these 80s games. I don't, we turned Black Knight on because I tested the game after I installed the solenoid saber board. And across the room, Steve goes, God, that sound and that music is awesome. because you got the horse galloping and the music, which is like some sort of like crazy space sound, but then you have Steve Ritchie's voice making fun of you. It's kind of a good time. Although System 11s were really fun because they were super unique, usually, and they had the ramps and maybe not toys, but cool shots and ramps. But everybody else, like Gottlieb's System 1s, are kind of meh. I mean, they're cheap for a reason, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you can't go wrong. Well, I can't go wrong with pinball anyways. But yeah, I think System 11 stuff is still a good value. They've crept up quite a bit lately, which is hard to swallow.
Like there's a guy who, on the forum, keeps saying, oh, I want to sell Elvira and the Party Monsters. And I think he was the guy that offered to trade me straight up for Lost World Jurassic Park. And at that point, I was like, I mean, I almost should have.
You were into DMDs because you thought that's what everybody was into.
Well, and that was my shared game, so it's like my partner in that doesn't like those old games. So he has a Sopranos at home. That's super fun for him, and you know how fun that game is.
Yeah, it's a great
He
game.
would never want an 80s game. So that wouldn't have flown.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're telling me. I mean, and Elvira is not a super crazy good game per se. If you took the theme off, it's an okay game. It's the theme that sells it.
Yeah, the theme, the callouts, the whole. It's a good package.
Yeah.
It's not just because it's Elvira.
But it's good. But she's the music and the callouts and the theme of her sells it.
Right.
But now, because haven't we seen $3,000 Elviras?
Well,
was that a home use or something?
You've seen them. Have they sold for that? That's always the thing.
That's it. What sucks is when I got into the hobby, and I said this on the last episode, taxis and all the big ones were well under $1,000. No, all day long. You could get them for easily $1,000. And now they want $2 easy for every System 11?
Well, that's not true. I just bought a roller game for $1,500.
Why did you get that game? Because I got it for you, you jerk.
You sent me a text message.
And said, buy this or die.
You sent me a text message. I did the legwork. I know the person who was selling it.
I pretty much handed that to you on a platter.
Listen, if you would like it, you're welcome to have it.
No, I want you to have it, Chris.
Listen, I've got no problem with you having it. But now you do all the legwork to ask for pictures and all that. I haven't seen pictures of the machine. I haven't seen anything, but I know I want the machine, so fine. For what I'm paying for it, I'm fine with that because I will at least be able to sell it for that.
Yeah, no, I would fully agree. Roller games is, I think randomly the popularity just jumped for it. I don't know if it's Steve Ritchie's games or System 11 in general.
It's System 11 in general, but it's also a System 11 that has a lot going on. I mean, honestly.
There's licenses in it. There's like on a couple other podcasts, they keep talking about like the callouts and the music and stuff.
I would be hard pressed to say if you took roller games and set it next to Jurassic Park Lost World. Most people would say that roller games has more stuff going on it than Jurassic Park Lost World.
It depends who you ask. If you asked a non-pinball person, they would disagree.
What are they disagreeing about? The DMD? Take
toys.
that out of the equation. I'm talking about the play field.
Toys.
What's going on the play field?
You got a snagger, picks up your balls with a magnet, dumps it into a dinosaur. You hit a dinosaur egg scoop, it opens up, a little T-Rex baby yells at you. Or maybe it's a velociraptor, I don't know. There's 2 ramps. Big ramps. Big ones. They go all the way back down the flippers.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
There's a magnet up top. Not just one magnet.
I would pay more for a roller games than I would pay for.
Because you know that Jurassic Park Lost World's a bad game. It's not actually a bad game. It's a good player's game. It's a shooter's game because every mode has to be completed on its own. You cannot stack things, and that's all it has going for it. If you own it, it'll make you a better player for shooting, like aiming for stuff, because you have to hit. One of the cool unique features
What's
is
your excuse?
What?
What's your excuse?
For owning it?
No, you used to own it, and
Yeah.
you're still not a very good player.
I didn't play it very much.
Oh, there you go. And you're defending it.
Well, I'm defending it as a game against roller disco or
Roller disco.
roller games.
You're a clown.
One of the modes, I think it's Site B, is every flipper button push, the target you have to hit moves. Like there's a blinking light in front of one of the stand-ups. Mm-hmm. And so if you're trapping the ball and you let go and flip, you have to aim at the correct target. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you aim for T in Site B and then you flip, it moves either to I or to E. So
right, it moves it so it's further away from what the natural shot's going to be from the right flipper.
Yeah, so you have to set it up so it's when you flip that flipper that's cradling the ball, it hits the correct target.
Uh-huh.
Which is kind of a cool thing. Shot practice. I don't know.
Keep trying to sell it. It doesn't matter to me.
It's still not as good as Waterworld. That has twice up the yin yang.
Toys don't necessarily make a machine good.
No, but this one does. Look, there's a boat. 4-ball multi-ball just turns over and just dumps the balls on you.
Oh, neat.
You love balls being dumped on you.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I wish I remember what machine it was today. There were a couple machines I was playing in the 70s, electromagnetic area that had the ball lock thing kind of going on and stuff like that, and it was fun. Man, Big Valley, that was one I played that I really liked because you had some saucer cups to drop balls into that then you had to then hit a shot to release them to create like a 2-ball multi-ball or a 1-ball or 3-ball multi-ball. It was fun. Like, it was fun.
Big Valley. Let's take a look. I just pulled up pictures. There's a dog barking at a horse.
And there's some weird stuff going on. Not gonna lie.
Oh, wait. See that shot on the right that goes up into the rollovers
and then loops back around, yeah.
No, it doesn't. Oh, it goes to your shooter lane?
Yeah.
Can you, if there's a one-way gate, can you nudge it out?
The gate opens. So it closes that gate until you lock a ball in the saucer. And then that gate, I think after a couple shots, you have to have a series of shots.
The saucer up top.
Lights up and opens to then you can shoot that shot to then release the second ball.
Okay, so I see. There's 2 saucers up top.
Yep.
And so you lock balls in the saucers, and then the gate on the left and the gate on the right are both unlocked?
There's 2 on the right. There's a lower one that's called the Fox, and there's one that's up that, what is it, the Beaver or the Gopher? The Gopher?
Oh, I didn't know the Gopher was a lockable one.
Yeah, and so you shoot to those gates, they open, you shoot to those gates, and then it brings it back to your ball, to your shooter lane, and then when you plunge again, that's when the ball's released.
That actually does look fun.
It was fun. It was fun.
I don't like the rollovers that are just those stupid buttons, though.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what they were doing back then. What are you going to do?
I know. I just wish they were like I like star posts because you can light them up or they look cool. I don't know.
You mean the star rollover switches?
I'm sorry. Yeah, this is star rollovers.
Yeah. Freaking Fireball. Holy cow. I mean, I know that machine was popular. I know it did big numbers when it was out there. That game is awesome. I had not played one before today.
I can get you a home unit.
Awesome.
You want a home version?
Not the home version, the commercial version.
I'll get you a home one.
No, I don't want a home one. It probably doesn't have the spinner in the middle, which is the spinning disc in the middle, and it's amazing.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that there was a spinning disc in the middle.
Man, I'm telling you, that game is fun.
Why is it fun?
I mean, it's got lock balls again, which is cool. The spinner in the middle the spinning disc really changes how the game plays.
Is it all the time spinning?
It just spins all the time. So it is definitely, you have to pay attention. The shots all feel real good.
Oh, the home model. Oh, here, I'll send you a picture.
I mean, it's probably garbage.
Shh! Don't judge till you see it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't even think there's a ball lock. I think it's a single ball because there's just.
Oh yeah, that's awful.
Yeah. Versus, there's a scoop. There's 2 scoops or saucers.
Yeah, two saucers to lock.
Plus that what's that? What do you call it? Where that ball's in that little. You hit it and it bounces up to hit the target.
I honestly say I don't know what it is. It's captive ball. It's basically a captive ball.
Captive ball, yep.
That rolls up.
It's kind of like, well, I was gonna say Metallica, but Metallica doesn't really move. Well, Ghostbusters has it too, right? You hit the captive and then the ball behind it bounces up.
Correct.
Wow. Hey, you see those little? They're not pop bumpers, but they're like little targets where when the ball hits it, they just lift up and score a point. They're yellow on the right and left.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
And I was playing the electromagnet version, and it was awesome.
That Sky Kings I fixed had those little score poppers.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Oh, it must be Fireball 2 that is solid state. Yeah,
but, I mean, again, it was a lot of fun. And so it doesn't, to me, this is me, it doesn't have to be a bunch of ramps and DMD and stuff like that. If it's a fun game and well laid out, a single level can be fun. You know what I mean?
Hey, you had those flippers that can zip back and forth.
Yeah, they lock in, to block the ball and stuff. That was fun, too. It was fun to watch it do that, because it does it on its own.
So that has the little 2-inch flippers.
Right.
Did you like it?
Yeah. I mean, because that's what's on most of the older machines, you know?
Wait. Are there different versions?
Of Fireball?
Yeah.
Yes, there's a solid state version. Because I think...
Oh, and that has the big flippers, doesn't it?
I think I'm talking to my ass. This was one of the machines that was right when they started switching.
Let me look it up, because it looks like they call it Fireball Classic, which I'm assuming has the... Those are both solid states. I want to see which one had the zipper flippers. Yeah, that has the Classic has the big flippers.
I'm assuming the Classic is because it went solid state.
Looks like there was a non-commercial. Oh, that's the home unit. And then the original Fireball was EM.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Fireball 72. Yeah. I think that's on the Pinball Arcade. So I think I played it a little bit, and randomly the flippers would go zoop. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun.
So is that when you play a game like that, is that something that now you want to look into buying?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to own some EMs. My concern always is that, because I'm gone all the time, they don't get played all the time, and then things stick and all that. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you adjust them correctly, you don't have nearly that. I mean, I would love to own some EMs. My brother has Domino. That's a really fun game. I would love King and Queens. I think that game is awesome. So yeah, there's a few EMs I would love to own at some point. But that's after I finish my System 11 collection. You know what I mean?
Will that ever be done?
Listen, I wish it would be, but I doubt it ever will be. Bonsai Run will probably never happen.
Why not? You just don't want to pay the price they command?
I don't want to pay the price for it. It's like there's
what about the transporter?
I don't pay that money.
Probably transporter too.
Transporter is the same way. Yeah, they want way too much money for what it is, and there's not very many out of them out there.
Although the hard part is bringing a pull of stuff because you ran out of room like I did.
What's that?
You ran out of room.
Yeah.
So,
well, now I got a buddy who has space, so I just send them all over there. That's where my pool sharks is. That's where my F-14's at.
I forgot.
My uncle's got my fire. What's really going to be funny is when I finish putting the two Jokers together, I'll probably send Jokers back to my buddy's house, the guy I bought the original Jokers from. So it'll go back to his basement for a while.
You can send games to my basement when it's done.
Yeah, when's that going to be?
Probably a couple years.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I mean, like, I think single level games can be fun and interesting. I think they just got to be done well. You know, Beatles is fun.
Have you played it?
Yeah, I played it the other day when we were in Seattle. This place called Shorty's had that. They had that. They had the new Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, was that where they had TNA too? You sent me pictures.
Correct, and they had TNA. Yep.
So, did you play Pirates?
I did. It's
okay. Let's talk about all these games because we haven't played them here. And I've been meaning to take Steve to SS Billiards down in God, it's by Coon Rapids, but it's not. And the problem is, I'm pretty much have to take a day off of work, run down at 8 a.m., play games, and get back so he can pick him up from daycare. So until we can do that, you'll have to give us a little rundown on these games because we have not played Beatles, we have not played Pirates. I have played TNA, but he hasn't. Yeah,
Pirates is amazing. Like, I'm still incredibly disappointed that they couldn't get the center mech thing to work right. The center mech was strictly just
the center mech. You're talking about the three
rings that we're going to
differently.
We're going to spin differently, and yeah, I mean, it would be really cool. It didn't affect gameplay at all, right? Like, I don't think it ever affected gameplay because you lock the ball, and then it does because it does it now on the screen, right? It does, oh, here's your mystery reward, and it shows the 3 rings spinning on the video screen until it locks into whatever your reward is. So it strictly was just a cosmetic thing, a cool little deal, but man, that game is packed.
Totally
that
packed.
Game is packed.
Did you get to fire balls from the upper playfield ship to the other side?
No. Didn't even know you did that.
That was what Steve got all excited about. Did you get to the upper playfield where the ship rocked?
Yeah.
Did it rock? Yeah. Did it rock both ways?
The ship rocks all the time. So
does it rock both ways? Because one...
Yes.
Okay. There's a handful of shows where the prototype it broke.
Yeah, no, it rocks both ways. The only thing that's a little disappointing about it is that on the right side, it's open, right? So if your ball kind of rolls that way, it's going to roll back off the ship and down and back to the main playfield. And then it's got a U-turn lane that's kind of the primary thing you're shooting at. Mm-hmm. And then it's got a lock mechanism on the left side at the top. So it definitely is challenging to get it to the lock mechanism and keep it going on the upper playfield. So, upper playfields a lot of times aren't, it's a gimmick, frankly.
Do you know of a game that you would say did it right?
Twilight Zone, because that upper playfield is so unique with the magnetic flippers and stuff like that. Super, super amazing way to do that upper playfield. Like, really well done.
With the magnets.
Yeah, with the magnets. Simpsons Pinball Party actually is really good because it's a specific shot you have to hit to lock the ball, or you don't lock the ball to get to a multi-ball. You know what I mean? So Simpsons Pinball Party is a pretty good upper playfield lock, or upper playfield thing. I'd have to start thinking after that. Not a lot of stuff in the modern era, to be honest with you.
I was disappointed in the upper playfield of Transformers.
Yeah.
And I think Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I've never played the upper playfield in Game of Thrones, but everyone says same with Aerosmith.
I told you that I played the LE and the Pro at CES a year or two ago, and I told you the Pro was the upper playfield was cool to have all these extra things, but at the same time the Pro played more fun.
Yeah, and I agree. I would buy a Pro if that's what I would buy of an Aerosmith.
It's a fun game, but it feels like it's too easy and you get bored.
I mean, I really enjoyed Aerosmith, actually. But anyway, so back to Beatles. Or back to Pirates. So
wait, I'm looking at the upper playfield. Where does it roll out? Where does it roll out? Oh, did you say on the right side?
On the right side.
Yeah,
and
that
then it
is
rolls
open.
into that orbit that's on the right side.
Wait, so it just drops off?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, there's nothing there to stop it. So if the ship rocks that way and
is that playfield going to get
that way, it's gone.
Jersey Jack has had some playfield issues randomly. So like, is this gonna be just boom and dropping on that playfield? I'm assuming there might be some paint coming up.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Oof.
I mean, obviously, but you know, if I'm buying a machine, I look at those things and go, you know what? I'm putting a piece of Mylar down there. Like when I get
Mylar's not going to save you though for a ball hitting a playfield.
Huh?
Mylar's not going to save a ball falling onto a playfield over and over from that high up.
What's going to keep it from the paint pulling up?
Well, until you pull the Mylar off.
Why would you pull the Mylar off? It's there to protect it.
No, but so the thing is like a shooter lane. You put Mylar down, the ball's just kind of bouncing in there. But when you're dropping a ball from an upper playfield to the lower playfield, Mylar's not going to save it. You're still going to, like, in theory, you could get cracks in the clear and the paint.
Sure. It can dent. Yeah.
I got my Metallica paint chunks came up around the magnet, and there's no jumping or falling. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But that was a paint issue.
Machine. You're going to play it.
Well, I got that replaced, and the new one had considerable clear coat put on.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. It looked good, but it did not play like my original, and I was sad.
No. I don't know what to tell you about that.
So Pirates. So what about the chest lock? Did you lock in the chest?
Where's that? Which one's that? Is that the left shot?
It's kind of in the middle. It's to the left of the well, you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's between the two ships.
All the shots feel really good in that machine, and there's a lot of them. Just the way you start the machine and pick what player you want to be or what character you want to be. Like,
do you think that's too much? Because there's a ton of different characters you can pick.
No, because I think if you are interested in the game and you're interested in the theme, you're going to like that. You can pick those different characters and be that different person. You know what I mean? Like, thematically, the idea is that you are that person playing that game. So, yeah, you get to be that person. I don't know, man. The machine's beautiful. Like, it's just beautiful.
It looks good.
But I think Wizard of Oz is the same thing. I think Dialed In. Like, Jersey Jack does a really nice job making it feel complete.
Except The Hobbit. I will say they dropped the ball in that damn game.
Yeah, The Hobbit's awful. You are right. The Hobbit is awful.
Wizard of Oz, they re-upped the license again. They're putting it back on the line as a new version, and the rumor is there's new things being added to it.
I mean,
I want one because my wife would like it.
I just hate the fact that they keep dropping a new version of it and pissing off their core people that supported that company and basically kept them from going under by buying that machine originally.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I would agree with that, but then I also agree with...
People went in and bought that Wizard of Oz from the beginning and had faith in a company and then go, we're on version 12.
Well, they put in...
Your original LED.
Yeah, they almost kickstarted them at... Yeah. I think the original was $6,500 for the original Wizard of Oz. And then they had their... Was it the red? The Ruby Red Slipper version was the first special edition?
Right. Yeah.
Then they had the Yellow Brick Road. Or is that the... No, yeah, they did. And now they're having this new one. And they keep making these new special editions.
Did they have an Emerald City as well?
Oh, they did, yeah. With the
or was that the original LE?
I bet you that was the original LE.
That was the original LE, yeah. And then Ruby Red came, and that's when everyone got pissed.
Yeah. And now it's just like... It doesn't matter. They're making a new special... Because they did that with The Hobbit. They did the black edition too and all that jazz. But the thing I have is... Wizard of Oz came out at $6,500. You can't find a Wizard of Oz for under $6,500, even used, even routed with paint chipped up.
I mean, it's a good game, especially after they fixed all their issues. It was a good game before they fixed all their issues. And I've said this before about AC/DC. The shots, the layout, everything was there. They just need to figure out the hardware and the software. And as long as you can fix that, then why would people get rid of the game? You know what I mean? Obviously, people were concerned they weren't going to fix it, but
yeah, they had a lot of problems with the light boards.
If all the pieces are there, that stuff can get fixed. You know?
Yeah. Well, it's like Metallica. People shit on that game when it first came out because the code wasn't there, but everything felt decent.
Yeah.
I didn't like it the first time I played it on route because I couldn't hit anything, but I was super new to pinball.
Right.
I would love a Wizard of Oz. I almost tried to buy one from in the cities that was routed, and even the owner said, "You don't want to buy this. It had nothing but problems."
All right.
And it's one of those where it's like, well, you could spend the money, like $2,000 on getting all new node boards or light boards or whatever. Maybe it'll work, but otherwise don't.
Or just go, you know what? Why don't I spend the extra $2,000 and get one that's working properly?
Yeah. My wife saw one at the state fair when we went, and it was just, I mean, it's a gorgeous game. It's great for your home because you can either block the posts off and the drains or whatever, and you can get through the game. Because there's a ton of game.
Yeah. Pirates is the same way. Ton and ton of game, and it's beautiful. It just looks good.
So what do you think about them picking this theme, Pirates of the Caribbean, which is not good anymore? I mean, it's like there's a new Pirates movie, but it's not the original. It's not Blockbuster anymore.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a Pirates person, so the theme doesn't do a ton for me, to be honest with you. I was attracted to playing it only because it's new and, you know, they were
new and shiny,
trying some things and blah, blah, blah. But, man, I tell you what, we were there for 2 hours. We didn't get on that machine until the last 30 minutes because there was a group of guys that they played it for an hour and a half.
Ooh, you should just put your quarter on the glass.
Yeah, I don't do that. That's weird. I mean, they were into it. They were doing their thing. I didn't care. It's a great looking machine. Now, I don't know what it sells for. Are they in that 8K range now for the cheap version at this point? Is that what they're doing? I don't know.
I think it's $8,500 for the cheap.
Man, that is way too much money for a pinball.
That's what I mean. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, it's crazy. If any machine out there is worth the money in terms of what you get for a machine, that machine's worth it. Same with dialed in. I know a lot of people aren't into dialed in. That machine is worth the $8,500 they're asking because it just has so much in it.
So you've played dialed in?
I played dialed in a bunch, and it is great.
I have not played it.
Oh, jeez, that machine is awesome.
No, I did play it. I played it at MGC last year, and I thought I'm not huge onto the art, maybe just the cartoony characters, but the selfie mode was kind of dumb but fun, and kind of funny to see people's like goofy pinball playing reactions.
And the gimmicky crap I don't care about, like the
Bluetooth,
awesome.
the Bluetooth to your phone to do the flippers. Are you kidding me?
No.
I mean, it's a super gimmick.
Again, that's gimmick. I don't care about gimmick. Like shots, feel, play. Does it flow? Those are the things that matter. That's my biggest gripe with Houdini. I think
that game's a clunker. You can't hit anything.
And I'm not a good player, so I can't hit anything. But the average player struggles to hit stuff in Houdini. So give me a game that flows, that feels good. Make it deep for people who are good at pinball because they're going to be able to hit a bunch of those shots easier. Dialed In is awesome. Like, it is awesome and fun. It's just play it fun. Again.
Damn it. That's what sucks about living where I live. There's nothing freaking around me.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Having to make trips to the city kind of sucks to play games. Like, yeah,
because it's up to 6 hour drive time round trip.
Right. I mean, you got to do an overnight. If I was doing it, I'd do it once a month and do an overnight. Say, babe, we're going down to see your folks. You can hang with your folks and the kids, or your folks, whoever lives down there.
I don't know if she wants to be with my folks by herself, though.
Well, like, go to a hotel.
Just don't tell my parents, because they're like, you should stay with us.
Go to a hotel and go play pinball, and she hangs out in a hotel and watches, Netflix or whatever it is, or do your thing and
actually
go play pinball.
So for Christmas, we're going to my parents' house in the cities, and I think I'm gonna try to get to a few places. There's a bowling alley like maybe a mile. It's probably 2 miles from my parents' house. Flaherty's, and they have 2 games in the last. I wonder when it was. It was last Christmas or something. They had the Guardians of the Galaxy and another game that really sucked. I can't remember what it was. I did a podcast about it, but I don't. Have you ever played Guardians?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun, but it got boring kind of fast. I don't know.
I mean, I wasn't into the theme, so that definitely didn't help draw me into it. I can't remember.
The code update helped a lot of it, I guess, too. So
yeah, and
it
I
had
haven't
old
played
code.
I haven't played in a long time. It felt like something else. I don't remember what it felt like. But I mean, again, there's only so many shots to make it feel unique. But yeah, it was fun. Like, I think Deadpool's awesome. Like, that game's a lot of fun.
I haven't played that yet.
Deadpool's a lot of fun. You know, the kitschiness of all the call-outs and all that. The animations are great. Like, they're really good. Only problem with Deadpool is you rely on the ability to lock that ball with the shot that goes up to that upper ramp.
Mm.
And if the game is not level and set up correctly, when you make that shot, the shot that is just right of the mini Deadpool or little Deadpool, whatever you want to call him, it rattles in there and won't get up that ramp. So on route, that game can often be very disappointing to play because you can't move forward and achieve stuff because you can't make that shot.
That's hard about route games is if the op isn't on it all the time, keeping the game clean and fixed and working.
Yep.
Ooh. Or if you just set it up and walk away and you don't dial it in. Ooh.
Well, I was the one that is that I played before. I've had a couple opportunities to play now, but when I first played it, I went with some friends to this place in Milwaukee called Cleveland Pub. They always get the newest Stern. It's always a Pro. They always usually when it comes out, it goes there for a while, blah, blah, blah. Well, now they've added a couple machines. So at one point it was just 2. Now they're up to 3 or 4. But they moved it, and when they moved it into the corner, that corner of the floor is not even close to level. Oh. And so it just plays bad and clunky now, and it's just not as fun.
Man, we got way off topic.
We're talking about Beatles.
Okay, let's go. Yeah, we got off topic with those new games you played. So how's the Beatles? Because it's like a couple games mashed together or something. But
well, yeah, Beatles. The playfield layout in generic terms is based off of Sea Witch. They've added a spinning disc. They've added a magnet at the top of the orbit where originally it was just a rollover star thing. And then they've added a lock mechanism to the left-hand side where you drop the drop targets and you can lock the ball in there. I think it locks or it rolls through. I'm not sure because I couldn't get to it.
Hang on. Do you enjoy the Beatles music?
I don't mind the Beatles music.
Is this theme okay for you?
I don't care. Like, I'm not... No. The game... My personal opinion on the game is it's too high priced for what it is. It's a cash grab based on the theme. If it was a $5,000 machine, I still think that's too much money, but it would be more palatable in terms of
would you ever consider buying
it.
Would you ever buy it?
No, not.
You would never buy any Beatles game.
I wouldn't buy a Beatles game. That's not true. I wouldn't buy this machine for more than, let's say, $4,000.
Okay.
Yes, there's lots of graphic stuff going on. Yes, they've added a magnet. Yes, they've added a spinning disc. But essentially, it is a single-level playfield game that the object is to bash away at the drop targets and the loops. to build your bonus to score points. Like, I played 7 games and I was bored. I was just bored because it's just repetitive. You know what I mean?
Okay,
now,
so
I played Sea Witch tonight for the first time. I've never played Sea Witch either. And I felt the same way about Sea Witch. The difference between the modern Beatles Sea Witch and TNA are 2 totally different machines in the way that they play. Yes, they are single level machines. TNA doesn't feel like a single level machine to me. Beatles feels like a single level machine. Like, Beatles feels like Break Shot in terms of what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve, that kind of stuff, in terms of what I think it should then be priced at.
a lot of these single level games that people do enjoy, like a bunch of the Stern Electronics and maybe a couple of the Gottlieb street level, they like them because they're brutal. Kind of like what TNA is, right?
Yeah.
So, where's the balance of brutal versus getting bored? I mean, was this like TNA's super brutal? Would you get bored of it? But there's a lot of music and things like Tron where it keeps you coming back to it.
Exactly. TNA is a complete package. The art, the lighting, the music. Scott did an incredible job on that machine, and you do not get bored.
Oh my god! Like, I just wanted to stand around
the
it.
Screen to see what's going on the screen, and I don't get bored of playing that game.
I've only played. God, I don't think I've played the production. I've only played the Whitewood when we were at MGC. And
that's great, man. It is fun.
So do you? Is there a balance? Have you played a bunch of the like Meteor or any of the other Stern Electronics?
No, yeah, I haven't gotten back into much of that era, and a lot of that's just because I've been concentrating on System 11 stuff. I enjoy them. I get a little bored of the sounds and music and stuff like, or the lack of music and things like that in a lot of those games. But that was just technology based, right? It wasn't there yet.
Yeah, I mean I listened to Slamtail podcast, and they're big on them. And their thing is, like, there's a bunch of shots that you have to make, like a bunch of drop target banks, and then you can light the spinner, and then you rip the spinner to get a bunch of points. And so there's a bunch of things you have to do in the game to progress, to get a shot to be worth a lot, and then hit. And so that's where they find that to be fun. But if you haven't played that many games, that many types of that game, then it's going to be kind of hard to answer.
Yeah, and I'm also not a great player. So I still need some of the things to be easy or achievable to where I enjoy them. Sinbad. Sinbad is an amazing machine. The objective is very easy. Knock down the banks of targets in order. Well, you don't have to do it in order, but knock them down, build up your multiplier. That's how you get points. But it's hard to do.
Oh, God,
and
it is.
Because you could visually easily see the objective. That's why I really love that machine. Like, okay. I know what I need to do, but it's really hard to do. And I don't, for some reason, and maybe just I'm jaded about pinball, is that the Beatles one just doesn't give me that feel.
Well, and I'm not really big into their music. There's a couple songs growing up I remember. Abbey Road, and that's kind of it. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah. Again, a lot of it, or what I was hearing, it's all that 60s stuff. It's their early stuff, and it's fun. No. It's 2.5 minute songs. You know, it's fun stuff, and I remember those, and I don't mind listening to it.
That's right, you're old.
Yeah, exactly. I don't mind listening to it. It doesn't. I don't think any of that stuff is like driving in terms of when you're playing, but I enjoyed it as background noise as I played.
So it really doesn't get you in the game?
Doesn't get... No.
Okay.
And, yeah, in that game, again, I played 7 games or so, and I was bored. Like, I didn't need to play it anymore. I was good.
So,
but again, I'm jaded because of the price, too. I think it's ridiculous.
It was... The hard part is, we talked about this before on the last call, was I'm excited that they're kind of going to some older style stuff, but if they're gonna keep just doing this, like they'll redo Meteor but label it My Little Pony and charge $8,000. What's the fucking point?
Yeah. If they would redo Meteor, do some updates, maybe add a couple magnets or things like that, and charge $4,000, they would sell them.
Oh, they would totally.
Yeah. I think that is a number that people would go, it's new technology, they've added a few things that makes it interesting, then it's worth the money.
That's a good...
If you get to 6,500, I think most people are out.
Yeah. So I think with the height of the Stern Electronics current market, where they're kind of going from 1,000 to 2,000 now, if they were able to pull back to about the 4K range with an upgraded version of all these old games, because then you're not just copying the old one,
right? So yeah, they would have to update the light
Yeah.
show. They would have to put a light show in. I think that's the one thing I noticed about Beatles, and again, I played 7 games and got through it and just played. It's just, I think it's just standard GI. So,
oh, seriously,
there really isn't a light show involved.
Oh my! This is a total cash grab. Of just pop
Absolutely.
it out. Beatles fans will buy it.
Primus is another example. It's a cash grab, and it's a bad playfield, and you've used it a bunch, so stop using it. But again, if people buy and spend the money on those things, Stern has no reason to reverse course.
So what's the next big Nelly play? God, what's that game called?
Whoa, Nelly!
Whoa, Nelly! Big
Juicy
Melons. Big Juicy. What's the next? What's the next band for that game?
Yeah, exactly. Fuck, I'll lose my mind. I'll lose my mind.
I can totally see him reusing that playfield again. $4,000.
I get it. They don't have to put anything into it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's just art. Just an art package.
Okay, great. Drop some art in the freaking computer.
Well, at the price they're charging, that art is pretty cheap. $4,000 for a fully upgraded 80s. Oh, that'd be neat. Yeah, you add a spinner, you add a magnet or something interesting. All new lights, all LED, done nice. Light show, LCD screen with some. Well, I guess they have to do LCD screens now, but that could be neat. And worth the upgrade.
I don't know. You might, if you upgraded the light show, added in a couple more features, and I'm not talking like major features. I'm talking like a magnet in a certain spot to stop the ball or grab the ball, or like Beatles, where they took that left side drop target bank, and when you drop it, there's a lock or a through, and the ball just rolls through over there. You could add just a couple of those things, and I think you're still okay. I don't think you got to drop a screen in it.
No, but what are they going to put in it?
Well, again, I think as soon as you get to that point, and you're saying they're putting a screen in it, now you got a whole art department that's doing stuff.
No, I would agree, but like,
now you're past the 4K range.
What are they going to put in instead?
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
They don't do.
Do you just put the art behind it, and then put the 4 display screens on an LCD screen?
Well, some people complain about lack of LCD usage, but at the same time, it's like you're right. You don't have to pay.
But again,
for
if you're trying to hit a price point,
you gotta cut stuff out. So, did you play TNA again?
Yeah, I love it. That one wasn't playing. It wasn't. Again, it's like any machine on route. It wasn't set up quite right, so it played a little rough, and rough. Moreover, that the shots that always felt really flowy and felt good were a lot harder to hit.
So, I also agree. TNA is fantastic. I wish I could buy one. It's just the price keeps me back.
Yeah, what are they still 65? Is that what they're asking for them?
Yeah,
new?
And even used ones, people want 65 to 7. It's like,
and that's too much. I think had that game been 6, I would have been like, man, I'm going to pass up on whatever else was coming, and would have bought one.
No,
and it's crazy that the extra $500 made a deal, but it did.
No, you said when we first talked, you said no way. It's not worth it. And
maybe that's because I didn't play it a lot.
Oh, maybe.
Now that I've played it a bunch, I'd be okay with 6.
Both of our
it would be the
collections
top
are
of the
big
line.
enough.
That would be it.
Both of our collections are big enough to support it. To support a TNA game in our collection, because if it was your only game, you'd get probably pretty sick of it.
Well, and I guess that's I was going to ask you the question before. The guys who like those early Stern games and the single levels, and they say, you know, they love those games. Do they have a larger collection where that's not their only machine?
Oh, you bet your ass they got probably 20 plus, all of them.
Right. So I think you're right. Those games have come back in popularity. People really enjoy them, but that's because they have a few games in their collection.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And, I mean, I remember when my collection was 1 or 2 games back when I first started, and I was trying to find games that were well-rounded, so I didn't have... Like, when I got Fishtails, I hated that game. It was way too hard. I was new to the thing. I wanted ramps and fun. And, I was
Fishtails is a great game. Well, I wish I could get it.
Now I like it. Now I understand it. But this is why I miss Waterworld. Oh, so back to TNA. So randomly, I'm listening to a bunch of podcasts, and they're saying that Spooky has quality control on TNA. There's a lot of people having problems with their games when they come out of the box. Which, I guess I'm not in the TNA thread on Pinside, so I have no idea what's going on. But
yeah, I'm not either, so I don't really have much to comment on that. I think, I mean, there are probably quality issues. There are with a lot of...
I was going to say, with every game.
Exactly. I think, as you've said before, and I've said before, and just about anybody who has a brain has said before, it's a small group of people that complain the loudest, and those are the people that get all the attention.
Yeah, and, like, adjusting something on the playfield, really, this is going to be a game stopper for you. You had Game of Thrones who people were bending the what do you call that, metal ball guide. They were bending the ball guide on most of the games. Right. But it's not a big deal. Like, you make it a big deal right then, and then, oh no, it's Stern though, it's okay.
I mean...
But Spooky's held to a different standard. But also, you know, you're shipping this giant unit. I had, every new inbox game I have, one of the little screws that hold in your coin mechs had fallen out, and I found it randomly in the cabinet when I set the game up. So, whatever.
But whatever.
It's like, pinball.
It's pinball.
It's always broken.
It's a mechanical item. Like,
the problem is people spend lots of money on a new game. They expect it to be perfect because you spend that many thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and I get it.
I have this expectation, right? Like, when my Metallica came out, I wanted it to be perfect. I don't want to play it because I want to keep it pristine, but at the same time, it's like, it's a frickin' pinball machine.
Yeah, I didn't buy it to put it in a museum. I bought it to play it. Yeah, is it annoying when it isn't perfectly working when it comes out? Absolutely, it's annoying. But if you're into pinball as a hobby, get out your fucking screwdriver and fix it.
The only thing that does piss me off is, like, you might have this problem, Ghostbusters, right? The clear is a little thin on ours, and that shooter lane is starting to kind of get chippy, crackly.
That's disappointing.
It's totally disappointing. I don't care, though. I stopped caring.
Yeah, I've had that machine long enough that I don't care anymore.
Yeah, go buy a new playfield if you're that. Just throw it in your storage unit.
Yeah, but again, you know, I'm buying to play them. You know, you had sent that advert, and I was thinking about this the other day. Now that I've got a roller games, my roller games won't be pristine and perfect. I know it won't be. And you had sent an ad for one that was $2,500, and theoretically was professionally restored. And
was that the Fire?
Oh, it was a Fire. You're right. You're Fire. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, it was fully... I didn't read it. Was it fully restored?
I don't know. It said a new playfield, I think.
Oh.
So, at some point, I go, well, you know, my machine might get to that point. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I might have paid less for it now, but if I drop a new playfield in it, buy new plastics, do all the LED conversion, all that stuff, at some point I'm probably going to end up that same money into the machine. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally. It's just hard to see it because you're not doing it slowly over time.
Exactly. So it's one of those where you had sent that listing, right? Because I was like, $2,500 for a fire? Are they mental? But I know that my fire, I'm going to put a new playfield in. Like, that's on the list. So I paid $13 for it. Well, a new playfield, that's got me into it for, now I'm at $2. You know what I mean? Like, real quick, you get there. If you take the money you put into it, you know? If the playfield cost you $700 or whatever, and then you do the swap, that's what you're into it at that point. So $2,500.
So what would you sell yours for? Like, what would you sell your Bad Cats for?
I'm never selling it. I don't know. I haven't given it a thought. I mean, it's hard to say. Do I think that Bad Cats is worth $3,000? It's probably, to me, it's probably pretty close because it has a CPR playfield in it, brand new set of plastics. The cabinet is really, really, really nice. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like it basically just came off the line. Well, you know, is that a $3,000 machine? Probably not, but pretty close. You're in the mid to high 2,000s, I would think. I don't think it's unreasonable.
So do you think it's reasonable to ask mid to upper 2,000 to 3,000 for a System 11 that has a new playfield and all that stuff versus these people who want $2,000 for player? Like, I just saw a taxi for 2,100 and I'm like, oh, let's take a look. There's playfield chunks missing all over the place. It's like,
no, I think it's unrealistic. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, there's a reason why it's probably still for sale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, again,
But how much do you take off for that?
I'm putting a new playfield in Pirates or Elvira and the Party Monsters. It has a new set of plastics. I have a new set of ramps that I bought for a couple years ago. Like, and the cabinet's really nice on that machine. That is now, I don't know what people sell them for. That's now a $3,000 machine easy. Because it's going to look brand fucking new. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it is going to look, and this is only my personal opinion, it is going to look, play, and feel better than a lot of modern Sterns feel. You know? Like,
but people are asking for $3,000 for $3,500 for that game without it being restored, so.
Really? Yeah, but fuck that. It's never going to be worth $4,000.
$5,000, dude. You can get $5,000 for yours. You better trade up.
Absolutely not. I would be embarrassed if I tried to sell it for like $3,800. Like,
you gonna get
those? With that,
you can get those repro ramps for your GNR.
No, my ramps are in great shape, so I don't really see a reason for them.
Why would you not want spare ramps as a backup?
I don't see a reason for.
What if they break? What if they crack?
Some of that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know.
It's kind of a rare game. Stern's not reproducing crap for any of that old stuff.
Oh,
and they're not that expensive.
They don't have any of the stuff probably to do it. Like, I think they just got rid of all that crap. Like, They got rid of it. They're never going to use it again. Throw it away. I was at Stern. I think I told you these guys on one of the first times.
No, they threw away the parts. I don't think they threw away the molds. Because they didn't do the molds. They hired someone else to do the molds.
Well, but the molds are probably just gone.
No, they keep them for the person.
What are you talking about?
You buy the molds, so that company holds on to your molds. Like the metal mold unit.
I'm saying if that company doesn't exist anymore,
oh.
They have no reason to hold on to those molds. The company that probably produced all the ramps and mechs for Bally Williams and Data East back in the day probably doesn't exist anymore.
Stop ruining my dreams of them making parts.
Yeah, get over that. Like, if you find parts, buy them.
Oh, I found you ramps for GNR. Buy them.
Yeah, but I don't need them. I don't need them.
So what?
They will never go into my machine.
Yeah, you'll save them for when your kid breaks them. Okay, I cannot wait. I'm documenting this day. When your GNR ramps break, I'm gonna send you this.
And then I'll pay the price if I can get them. It's just how it is.
What
If I would have had the forethought and foresight to go, I'm going to buy every System 11 machine, then I would have been buying every playfield that was ever released for those games. Well, I didn't do that because that's insane at some point to go, what, am I going to have every part?
Well, now you lucked out. Now they can just Instaprint them.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that yet. At some point, I'm going to have to buy one just to see what it's about. Have people bought them yet? Has there been any reviews on that?
No, I haven't heard anybody.
One thing I want to tell you about Beatles, though, before we move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was possible, but they somehow made that machine feel and sound cheaper than Deadpool sounds with the cabinet quality.
When my Ghostbusters showed up and I looked at the seam, I'm gonna call them seams, but where the cabinet corners are, yeah. I'm just going, holy smokes! This feels like shit compared to Tron, Lord of the Rings, maybe even Metallica.
Yeah, I can't make it up. When I was playing the game and flipping it, I actually thought the glass was off the game because the thunk of the flipper mechs was so loud.
God,
it was just loud because there's just nothing left in the cabinet.
I think I'm done.
It was mental to me. I was like, what is this? I didn't know they could make it cheaper.
And everybody made fun of Homepin for going to China, and it's like they're getting about as thin and cheap as you can get here.
Right. Yeah, it's unreal.
I'm getting super sick of Stern's prices going up, but their quality of everything going down. It's just like, they're making tons of money. They just said everything is up from 2015 by 80%. Sales are up. And it's like,
it's insane.
Which means you have tons of money now. I mean, they're not bajillionaires, but they're not going to keep working if they don't make a profit. And their profit, they're making sure they capitalize on their profit now while the community is huge.
Correct.
But my gosh, there's going to be a tipping point, and they're going to hit it, I'm assuming, pretty soon, where their theme that's so monstrous is going to sell less because the quality of the game is going to suck ass.
I mean, what are the numbers on Beatles? I had someone tell me that knows some things, and I'm not saying that they're right, but he said so far maybe just a couple hundred or so.
Really? It seemed to be, well, I don't know. People are pretty excited about it on Route.
Don't buy the hype. Buy what got sold.
Well, I have no idea I'm not a big Beatles fan.
Right. So how many are on Route? How many are in people's houses? Everyone get excited about something and be on board with it, but until they put the money down, that doesn't matter.
I don't think Beatles was very well. I don't think the pinball community was pretty excited about it because I don't know how many people are huge Beatles fans, but it's like, well, I don't know how many Primus,
you
say it, Chris. How many Primus machines were sold? Because supposedly they got a big fan base, but I don't know how many are going to be big.
Are they making 100 of those or something?
Oh, was it that small?
Yeah, I thought it was a really small run. I mean, was there ever actually a release besides what was on their website? On the not on the Stern website, on Primus's website?
They had something.
Oh, did they? Okay. Oh.
Oh, you're right. 100 units. They probably sold out. It's only 100.
I would think so. It's only 100 units. But again...
Spooky had a hard time getting 250 America's Most Haunted. But they don't have
But that was their first machine, so
I was going to say, they don't have the pull like Stern does for being around for a while.
Yeah. But again, there's not a lot of machine for $8,500.
Oh, no. Ooh. I mean, if you liked the Munsters pinball, and you would buy one, but if the cabinet felt like the Beatles, would you pass on it then?
Probably not, because I think that machine's going to have a lot of features in it.
So the cabinet thinness and crap, you would overlook to have a good playing game.
Yeah, I'd still be mad at it. I mean, I'm not like, I just think it's ridiculous that they found a way to make it feel cheaper. I didn't think that was possible. But I know that that's not changing. Like, that's the other thing. That's not changing. Unless everyone just stops buying their machines and writes them a letter and says, everybody in the pinball community doesn't buy the next turn title, and instantly sends a letter and go, we hate your cabinet quality. Until you fix it, we're not buying another one of your machines. They're not fixing their cabinet quality. And so people bought a lot of Deadpools. People are buying some Beetles, and they have no reason to change it.
I heard a rumor that Munsters Pro were on the line to get shipped out of the U.S., which would mean it would be perfect timing for Munsters to be released at CES. And if you have heard, Dead Flip, Jack Danger, will be at CES in Stern's booth.
Oh, yeah?
And I will be at Stern's booth.
Well, I look forward to hearing what you think of the Munsters. Listen, the pictures that I've seen, it looks really cool.
Yeah, it does look really cool.
It looks good. If they nail it with sounds, because that's always my thing. You can have a great theme, and Walking Dead was case in point. You can have a great theme, but if you don't pull it together with the voice actors and or someone who sounds like the voice actor, people are going to really be disappointed. They're just you're doing the Munsters. It has to be Fred Gwynn clips.
Although, here's the thing. I think with licenses that old, they have full rights to everything, which is why they can do the likenesses and stuff. Where, like, new movies, you don't have that. You have to go to each individual actor and get likenesses and voice, where back in the day, you can just use whatever was with the movie.
Yeah, but I'm saying that, like, then do it. Like, if you're going to produce a machine that is based around a TV show, then you better have the actors doing the voice work.
Oh, I would agree. But
or someone who sounds exactly like them.
Yeah, Walking Dead was their first shit show of voice acting, where they like hired a different person.
Like, they skated by in
Game of Thrones.
In Ghostbusters, because they had Ernie do a bunch of pinball related call-outs, but then they picked clips out of the movie that were of Bill Murray and the other characters, so it worked.
Oh,
had they used Ernie, but then not used any of the clips that everyone knows and loves from the movie, people probably would have been like, they missed the boat with this.
I might have not. I don't know if I would have bought it then. It's hard to say, because I love Ghostbusters.
And I love Ghostbusters as well. I would have been on the fence had they not had a bunch of the clips in there that are just the sound bites that you know and love from the movie.
But I think that age of movie allowed them to have the full, where like Addams Family, which is mid-90s, early 90s, that must have been the turning point of movie TV, where they stopped having the full rights to all actors for licenses stuff.
Close, because Star Trek Next Gen was after that, and that had all those people in it. Indiana Jones was the same thing. That's 93.
However,
right? Addams Family was 91.
Good point. But I guess on Star Trek, all those people wanted to work on it. Like, the people did want to do it, where a lot of things they have to pay people to get them in.
Well, I'm sure they wanted to work on it because they were getting paid too, but...
Well...
You are correct. There may be a cultural change where people go, well, what am I worth? Instead of, wow, that's something interesting, great, and you're going to pay me as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was some sort of story I think I remember hearing where the people from the Star Trek were like super excited, so they just did it. I don't know if they cared they got paid, but like Demo Man, you know, they had some call-outs, and I think they had a bunch of call-outs, but then Sandra Bullock like didn't get paid or she got mad or she made a big stink about it, which it was like she had a point where all the men got thing, but I don't think she did voice work.
She didn't do voice work in it.
So it's like, well, you don't get a game if you didn't do voice work. That was the whole point.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's if they nail it with the sound package, what that machine looks like, just on the pictures alone. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be, I won't say great because that's overstepping it, having only seen some pictures. It looks like it has a potential to be a really, really good game.
Was it you that said it kind of looks like Monsters of Rock?
Monster Bash?
Monster Bash.
Christ, Parnell. Are you in the hobby?
I'm tired. It's late. I didn't...
Yeah, it does feel a bit like Monster Bash. Again, there's only so many unique layouts that exist. And there's only so many unique layouts that work. You know what I mean?
Like they could put a ramp in the middle. Like Police Force.
Wizard of Oz. That was a completely unique and different direction. And it all came together to work right. You know what I mean?
But it's also a wide body.
Yeah, that's true.
So they had more room. But like The Hobbit, God, that should have been a standard body. It probably would have played so much better.
Yeah, it would have.
Oh, that game sucked.
Yeah, like, there's just only so many layouts that work.
Well, I'm fine with it. It's not a copy paste of it, so it's still not gonna. Like, what happened? Was it what game did they say was copied off Metallica? Was it Aerosmith or Kiss?
I think Aerosmith is like Kiss.
Okay, so you take those two games. They don't play the same.
No, they don't.
Oh,
Absolutely
Guardians of the
not.
Galaxy was said to be like Metallica.
Which was?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's right. That's what I thought too.
But still, I think it plays easier than Metallica.
I believe you are correct. I think it does play easier Metallica. And it's all theme-based. I think Munsters is a really great theme, even outside of people who are into Munsters.
Oh, dude, it's gonna this will probably be a big hit because the whole demographic of pinball is, what did they say? It's like 60-year-old white males.
Yeah.
Which were big into the Munsters.
Yeah. But I think if they graphically pull it off with art and everything like that, it'll draw people in.
Oh yeah, and I think Franchi's on art, and he's pretty good about doing that whole hand-drawn, but it's photoshopped.
Right.
So that should be pretty nice artwork.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to buy one. I don't think I can afford it anymore.
What do you mean? Isn't your son working yet?
Yeah, right. It's not even that. It's just the price of pinball machines.
Oh,
like,
if
I buy that, then I'm not buying it. Then I'm done buying System 11s for a while. You know what I mean? There's only so much money to buy machines.
Oh, and here's Elvira 3
I'm
is
really happy
still
with
coming.
my collection. So something's got to go to free up that money.
My whole thing now is like I keep remembering Elvira 3's coming down the pipe.
Well, that's true, man, and that is a no-brainer. Unless they royally mess it up somehow.
Well, supposedly, like, the game's done. Stern just has to make it, or tweak it and make it. And so now it has me a little worried, or it's like, hopefully they're spending their time on making it good, but it's Stern now. You almost don't know what to expect.
You don't.
I would I'm so over pre-ordering.
Oh, yeah, and I'll never pre-order anything again. I'll never pre-order anything again because they're already going to come out with a premium because they're not going to miss that market. And I don't give a shit about LEs anymore. Like, at first I was like, oh, LEs are really awesome. But when they blew out and now do premiums all the time, yeah, give me a premium. It's great. And frankly, I really love my Iron Maiden Pro. And because that price was so good at the MGC last year when I bought, I can honestly say, I don't know how an Iron Maiden Premium or LE plays. Because I don't care. Because I love the price I paid for my machine.
Was it under $5?
Yeah.
So
under $5 delivered.
Here's the crazy part. 2014 or something about Metallica for like low fours, and now they're selling for low fives.
Yeah.
It's only been a couple of years. Did that much change? Because my salary didn't jump up. Cost of milk didn't go up that much.
No, because people are buying.
Oh, it's so ridiculous that they can just jump up $1,000 and like nothing really changes.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
for that $1,000, you should get a big LCD display with complete new art and graphics and shit. I think.
Well, now they do.
No, but I mean, like a Metallica now, they should just be reworking all that stuff to make it look better and put it in the new cabinet.
Once I saw that I could resell my used Metallica and make a ton of money, I almost thought about it. Then my wife hit me. I was like, yeah, you're not selling my game.
The problem is that you're not getting it back for that.
No, exactly. So there's no point.
Unless you're going, I'm over this game and moving on to the next one.
No, and I can't.
Which you're going to regret that.
Hey, does your Iron Maiden have the jukebox mode in Attract?
I'm not going to lie. I don't know because I haven't had that much time on it because I just am not around.
Because you know about the jukebox mode on AC/DC and Metallica, right?
Yeah.
I think it doesn't keep playing songs, though, does it? It plays one song and then it's done.
Yes. Correct.
Oh, it's so annoying. Because when I was down in my basement working on a game, I wanted it to just keep playing. But I had to keep going over and like pushing the next button over.
Wouldn't you be better served just to bring down your laptop and
I wanted my pinball machine with bad speakers to play me music.
Exactly my point. Yeah, I would love a Munsters, but something's got to go to free up that money, and I don't know that.
Family Guy, get it out.
Yeah, well, Family Guy doesn't need to go out. Yeah, I don't think that. Like right off the bat, Munsters I don't need to buy it.
No,
especially if they're gonna run it.
And this is like when I pre-ordered Medieval Madness. It sold out in under 15 minutes or 5 minutes. Right. But then look within the year, you could actually buy your spot on the LE up to the day it sold, and even after they started actually shipping, which was like 2.5 years after they announced it.
Yeah.
And my dumbass got locked in. And then Ghostbusters, I did jump on the pre-order train because of the price of the premium was so good.
Yeah, I mean, look at Rob Zombie. I paid what I paid to be on the list for Rob Zombie, and now it sells for $1,000 less than that. Now, I had a different viewpoint when I was buying that machine.
What?
Yeah, yes, I thought it was
going to
go up value, but I also was like, I'm supporting a small company.
What did it retail at?
I think it was it 65, 67? I don't remember.
I remember Tapman down in Chicago. I think he sold his for 45.
Is that what he sold it for? Yeah.
He needed it gone right away, but
yeah,
I think that's what it went for.
Yeah, that's the rare case because he needed it gone right away. So, yeah, I think they're selling for like 50, 54. Is that kind of the average now?
I think so. Right about $1,000 off, which should be that's pretty decent for a used game. I mean, let's be real, it's used.
I think everyone thought because it was because they're only running. I mean, I guess they're running 300, and 300 is still a lot of games in this day and age. That everyone thought it would hold its value a bit more than it did. But again, I didn't care. I was annoyed at it for a minute, but then I went, they're a smaller company. If I can support them when I can, then, and it was a theme I wanted, I'm fine with that.
Do you still like playing it?
Yeah, I love playing it. I think it's fun.
Well, then,
a lot of people don't like it, and I think it's fun.
Spooky Pinball Podcast, they have, I forgot her name. She's out in Australia, and she does like how-to kind of tutorials. And her dad did one on Rob Zombie, and they kind of laid some techniques out and explained why you should like it. Because it does.
Are you talking about Rhoda Dave?
Yeah, was that his daughter?
Yeah.
I don't remember his daughter.
They love that machine.
Is it Danny? No.
Yeah.
It's
Danny. Yeah.
I find it fun to hear. So, when someone explains something to me, I then can look at my game and grasp it
Right.
At least I can try to shoot. They'll give you a couple tips on shoot this shot a lot because it'll make you points.
Right.
So I like her play guides.
Honestly, it's why I always like Bowen's, man, because it's like, oh right, oh that makes sense.
Oh
okay.
God. On my league night, I would send emails with like his videos on my games, like Medieval and Metallica. Get better, you guys.
Yeah, I don't know what I'll do if like Elvira's a no-brainer unless they somehow royally screw it up. So
Chris, so I like Elvira. How to buy all her games once this new one comes out? It's gonna be like almost $10,000, and all the games are gonna jump in price once this game comes. Oh, I shouldn't say 10. I should say more than that because Scared Stiff is like a $7,000 game now.
They Scared Stiff doesn't usually sell for less than 6, I don't think anymore, right?
Ooh, nope. That game's crazy. I mean, when I got into the hobby, I think that was a $4,500 game.
Yeah, probably.
That was above Medieval.
Yeah, I mean, I love Scared Stiff. I love Elvira and the Party Monsters because, again, it's a complete package. They did great with the art. They did great with the call-outs, all that stuff. It's fun. It's fun. So as long as they pull it off with the next one, then yeah, like.
But how do I get the trifecta?
Well, you should have started a long time ago.
I should have done a lot of things a long time ago.
That's true. Or get out again, like you said, get out your pocketbook, because you can fix anything with money, my friend.
I could just wait till the next crash, scoop them up. Do you think that's coming? Do you think a pinball crash is coming?
I don't think there's going to ever be another crash. I think.
Okay, so what if the economy crashes? Which it will happen again. It's just getting primed up again for it.
I think yes. If the economy crashes, people will sell things because they need to. Mm-hmm. Don't think the overall prices are going to go down. You know what I mean? Like Joe Bob in South Carolina lost his job, unfortunately, and/or is coming up short on the rent. So now he's selling 3 of his games because he's overextended. So, not, hey, Scared Stiffs are selling for 7 and now they're going to sell for 5. It's not going to happen.
So there's too many people in the hobby to let them. Even after a crash, there's going to be too many people itching with money because they.
Well, it's not even that. If you bought it and you bought it for 6 and it's gone up to 7 and now the pinball market crashes, unless you need to get out, why would you sell it?
Because what if you need money?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Those are the rare cases, though. It's not going to change the entire market. The entire market isn't going to go down and now every game is going to sell for $4,000. Everyone's going to go, we just had a crash. And 6 of the Joe Bobs need to sell their Scared Stiffs, so they got out of them for $5,000. That doesn't mean mine's worth $5,000. No, Medieval Madness, the only reason the originals became worth less is because they started producing new ones cheaper.
No, but you're saying 6 people. But the whole thing is the entire U.S. economy drops. And Americans are typically stupid and put a lot of their assets on debt, right? They use credit cards and they refinance their house to get money to go buy dumb toys like boats and stuff.
Yeah.
So if they need to then lose their job or they get a pay cut or whatever, they have to sell a bunch of stuff. If most of the hobby is in that predicament, wouldn't the market then kind of at least angle down a little bit?
Sure, it might. I mean, yeah, I think the pinball hobbies is a lot smaller than you think it is. You know what I mean?
Well, I know it's small, but
like you're talking about everyone selling all the same machine. You know what I mean? Because yes, will the market for pinball machines maybe go down a bit? Probably, but I think that's a machine by machine basis. You know what I mean? Like, unless 50% of the people that own a Scared Stiff all decide to sell them and sell them for a reduced number, it's not going to change what that Scared Stiff, what the average Scared Stiff is going to sell for.
So you're thinking that These games are never going to drop in price now.
I mean, they're going to drop. They will drop in some price, yes. I think in 15 years or so, they potentially will drop in price because people who are into pinball are gone. That's when they're going to stop dropping in price.
I should wait for the trifecta until then.
Right, because I don't think the hipsters are the ones that are going to support the hobby forever.
Well, no, people like that want places to go. They don't want to own the machines because that's a lot of work and money.
And at that point, those places are going to be gone because those people aren't supporting those places anymore. Part of the reason the price has been driven up on the secondary market is because the machines are gone, because there's a lot of places that have opened up with machines in them now.
To route, yeah. Well, and look at even the routed games price. It's like $500 off new.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Do you remember when, back in the day, this is before my time, but like route operators, you would just dump games. Once you made your money, it was like, whatever, this is just profit.
Listen, 96, when I bought my Riverboat Gambler, my first machine, we were going to auctions in Kansas City. I lived there at the time, and there were 2 or 3 a year, maybe more. And the day we could have bought Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's see. I bought my Riverboat Gambler. My buddy bought Playboy 35th Anniversary Edition. There was a Mouse and Around, and there was something else. We could have bought all those machines for, I think, $1,700 all in for 6 or 7 machines, and we were all like, "Fuck that! Why would we spend that much money on all these machines?" And of course, that's 20 years ago. But like, Jesus Christ, like, yeah, you're right. They used to just get rid of them. They made their money, get them out of here.
Well, we're gonna wrap up this podcast and thank Chris for his time. Steve, sucks to be you. You missed out. We'll have to get Chris back on. Chris, you got any final words?
I just love talking to you guys. Love listening to your podcast.
I know, it's the only one.
I'm praying for the day that you know how to say the word Primus.
That'll never happen. All right. Bye-bye.